Yeah, how's Japan, man?
It's good, man. They just they have really low doors, you know. So I always gotta watch my head.
Yeah, must be
Yeah,
like
dude,
Hobbiton. It's like Hobbiton
Yeah,
for you
dude.
there, hey?
I'm literally Gandalf in like fucking Bilbo's living room around here.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Japanese people fucking think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh man, they just can't get enough of it. Yesterday I was talking to this chick at the bar and she's like 4 feet tall.
Yeah. She's probably hot though.
So funny. Yeah, I mean, you know, for a fucking hobbit, she was pretty cute. You know?
Nice. Dude, let's start the show, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nine Eagle. Yeah, that's right.
It's been an epic eagle ride so far. They said rain all week, and Nine Eagle is just like, no, it's not happening.
No, Nine Eagle. Nine Eagle hollered some rain this morning. Nine Eagle's like, all right, we'll
True
rain
that.
this morning, and then after the rest of the day will be epic.
Yeah,
And it was. And you know what? Like,
it's been pretty epic.
Nine Eagle, man, fucking woke up super early, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking, which is usual now, and fucking, we went and got tools, dude. We don't have any tools in our house.
Like, just, you know,
Just some
garage tools.
Just some garage tools. Just
Nice.
shit that you need, like, in like 6 months when you need that tiny little screwdriver. It's like, yo, I fucking have that.
You just prepared
Yeah.
on Eagle Day.
Yeah, Eagle
For
Eagle
some
was
future
just,
shit.
Yeah.
Good call.
Eagle's just like, yo, it's time to go to Home Hardware.
Yeah. That's a good call on an
Yeah.
Eagle Day.
Yeah, man.
Do something preparatory. I think yesterday was kind of a crazy day too. Ate Jag.
Yeah.
It just kind of, like, for me, Jag days usually end up being one of those days where, like, I'll see a really attractive girl and it'll always happen on a Jaguar day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can just count on seeing an attractive member of the opposite sex
The Jaguar
when
magic.
Jaguar rolls around. And I started dating a girl based on, I think, 9 Jaguar
Oh, yeah.
once, which ended up being a really interesting relationship.
Oh, yeah.
But 9 Jaguars what brought her out, and Jaguars seemed to just bring him out.
Yeah, dude, on Jaguar Day, it's like somebody put out a bowl of milk. And then all,
Yeah, all these kitty cats, yeah.
They're like, meow, meow. And it's like, oh, where'd all these chicks come from? It's
Yeah.
like, somebody put out some milk for them. So.
And put some catnip on that milk too.
Yeah.
Catnip, dude. And all these chicks just show up and they're all like dolled up with their makeup. They're looking for sex.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well. All these chicks are going out. No, kitty.
Bad kitty,
I
bad.
fucking watched Cat Orgy a while ago, dude. That shit is funny.
Yeah, dude.
The cat
She's
orgy?
like, I'm trying to watch Friends. Guys, come on for you, Shirley. She's like, no, Skylar, I told you no. Yeah, dude, all these, so that's Jaguar, yeah. Cat Orgy. Actually, I totally didn't think of Jaguar when I watched the Cat Orgy.
Yeah.
That fat cat comes in, he's doing cocaine. It's like,
Yeah, dude. That,
I need to see that thing again.
dude, that thing is fucking
man,
funny.
It's so good. It's so good. You know what else one is really funny is that one where fucking Jennifer Lopez is on Carmen's hand.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, man, that is so good. And then Ben Affleck shows up.
Yeah, man.
He's like, I love you, bitch. And he's like, tacos apanitos.
Yeah, dude. They just rip that chick apart, dude.
Taco burrito
Dude, man,
is
it's just so retarded. Like, how did they come up with that idea?
Yo, check it out, man. Like, big ups to the Eagle right now, man. To the Eagle part of that team, dude. Those guys, I was thinking about them today. I was driving or whatever, and I was thinking about South Park. Seeing, like, how these guys made this show, like, out of cardboard paper, you know? And these guys just fucking did it. You know, I was thinking about some old episode, like some older one. I think it's the one, it doesn't matter, but, you know, these guys fucking do this. They did this, like, they pulled out one a week for, like, every season, and it's like, what the fuck? From, like, paper cutouts that sucked, and these guys just epic that shit.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Well, they just put themselves on the line, forced themselves to create it.
It's one of the greatest things in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, man, it's...
Like, always so, like, South Park just is, like, part of my soul. Like, just watching this makes me so happy because somebody's doing it, you know?
Yeah.
They're not just doing it for them. They're doing it on behalf of, like, so many people.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, we need them to fucking say, like, stupid shit and, like...
There's people...
Man, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Well, man, I want to say welcome to Dave, man. This is our 4th episode, I think, that we've done in this way. And we're called Living the Zolkeen. And I think you are our very first guest, man.
Yes.
And I couldn't ask for a better first guest.
Thanks.
And I think Mitch would agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if you want to start it off balling, then this is a good way to start it.
You gotta go 13 seed balling.
Yeah, we gotta start it off at the top.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, you guys. I'm a big fan.
Dude, we didn't know whether we would have you on the show. I remembered, like, me and Mitch were gonna do an episode today, and you just happened to be able to roll by, which was great, man.
Oh man, the stars, the stars, and then the wallers all lined up this time, you know.
Yeah, we were gonna do it yesterday, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yesterday was 8 Jags, so I'm not surprised, you know? It's just a tricky day.
Yeah. These all smoke and mirrors, you know.
It's like Alice in Wonderland, you know?
Today, 9 Eagle for you guys, and for me now it's 10 Akmak. That's where I'm at.
And what's Agmark again, man? Oh,
Akmak,
wisdom.
oh, that's wisdom.
All right, Keeb.
Yeah, Keeb, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all the way over here on another one, but, like, you know, I think it's really interesting that we always talk about this, but I'm always a day ahead. So, like, I'm always talking about the past.
Yeah, that's true. You're coming at it from, like, you just did that, and we're coming at it from, like, we're currently in that.
Yeah, it's always really trippy. You know, and, like, we'll always talk about, well, no, sometimes we'll talk about the one that I'm currently on, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like these 2 signs in particular are really lazy. Some lazy-ass shit. So right now I'm just lying in bed. It's like I don't have any plans to do anything. I'm not going to do much today. I'm going to do my laundry and drink some coffee. That's about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe going to just sit on a rock today. I think that's a good idea.
Contemplate some stuff, yeah.
Yo, man, you think Akmak is a lazy sign, hey?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I always saw these guys. As the ones that got down to work, but not necessarily. But like more of like, you know, that's why the B is a good representation. It's more like the work that they're supposed to do, not the work that they necessarily, you know, feel like doing. But it's like, you know, they've got a job to do and they do it, you know. But I guess you're right. If they could be lazy in that, they may not.
I think the Keeb mythology is more like beeswax, which is like you can get stuck in the karma of beeswax, you know, and everything gets stuck in there, good and bad, right? So, and I think Mitch was saying last time that the opposite sign is offering. Is that wrong, or? That's right. They're both 6s. Yeah, so you gotta, like, you know, take the karma from Keeb or wisdom and then cast it into the offering. You gotta purge it, you know?
Well, hold on. First I want to talk about what Dave brought up, because, like, that is an interesting point. Like, if you look at an Akamak person, typically they are kind of sturdiest worker bees. Like, they do have that, like, work ethic that they will just go there and chip away at the hive every single day, no complaints, and, like, they're happy to do it. And you know, like, they are pretty dedicated and they do work really well. So, and that's, like, been the case with a bunch of Akmaks that I've seen, like, such as my dad.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the thing, you know, I heard this recently and I think it's kind of cool. So Akmak, if you know the Quiche language, you can break it down. Means master. And Mak means sin or misdeeds. You know, so, like, here you have Akmak's name literally means master of misdeeds or master of sin. So they have this reputation for being like the worst part of seed, you know, which is just like this gluttonous, lazy, self-indulgent ice cream sundae passed out of the bath, smoking, they love that.
Yeah, actually, I see that, dude. I see that.
Nobody's better than that, So, like, that's one huge aspect of it. And when you were talking about the bees now, Steve, one of their totems also is not just the bee, but the beekeeper. And the beekeeper literally sits around and does nothing, and then just comes in and jacks the honey. He just comes right in and jacks the honey from all these bees. It's like they're, one of their totems is the beekeeper. So that's somebody that fucking does nothing at all. They don't do shit, but they just get honey all the time.
Yeah, they don't have to, man.
Top of
Yeah,
the
no,
food
they're
chain.
wise. They're wise. They position themselves in a great place, like next to the hive,
Well, maybe they built that hive, Maybe they did all the work to get their honey hive, and now they can sit around and be lazy.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, that's a great aspiration. I'm not trying to play a hate. Like, I think it's wonderful.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Akmat. We actually covered that this time. But, like, right now you guys are up in 9 Eagle.
Yeah.
So what's going down with that?
I don't know, man. I saw an eagle today. Yeah, I was just driving, seen this eagle. I'm like, yeah, buddy, what's up?
I love seeing eagles on Eagle Day. I always take it as a good omen.
Yeah.
Like, eagle on Eagle Day. I'm on the right track.
Yeah, totally.
Eagle's a good day for like business decisions and making long-term plans, I think.
It's a new perspective. I mean, having a whole bunch of tools just means that all of a sudden, like, now this whole world of like fixing shit is opened up to you now. Like, it's like, yo, man, this thing's broke. It's like, yeah, I got a Phillips head.
Yo, man, so I'm in this store on 9 Eagle, man, going like talking to this lady who's like, she's like a welder and sort of a carpenter, and she works on like forklifts. Like, she's like an engineer for forklifts and shit. And I'm asking her, like, I'm being like straight up like, yo, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know anything about tools. And like, I need a bunch of tools because I don't have anything in my house. And I'm tired of asking my neighbor for tools, kind of thing. And so, like, I'm just chilling with this chick. Me and Annie are just chilling with this lady, like, getting all these tools for, like, an hour. And I'm like, I'm just, like, feeling like, I don't know how to use any of these. I don't know what I would do with any of these, but I'm going to get them anyway, But at the same time, man,
there's some basic tools that anyone can use.
Well, yeah, okay.
You need a set of pliers, you need a monkey wrench, you need some Phillips heads.
Yeah, we got the basics, and I know how to use those when it's time to use them, and if not, like, YouTube or Google will tell me. But it's just like, the truth is, I'm not gonna do a lot of shit with these, actually, but it's just like, you need to have them.
No, Dave, dude, it's more about the look of tools. It's like,
that's true.
Let's say if like the faucet breaks or something, like, you just bring out these tools and you scatter them around the floor.
Yeah.
And then you fucking wipe some like oil on your face and you're like, well, I can't fix it. Let's call a plumber.
You just like smoke a bunch of weed in there and it's like, okay, well, honey, I can't do it. I made it worse, actually. Yeah. I shouldn't.
I've done that. I've made it worse before because, like,
I can see you doing that.
Guys are supposed to get in there and try to fix it. That's our job, And so, like, I've gotten in there, like, I'll fucking fix your fridge, and I'm like, I fucking fucked it. I'm like, yeah, see, the problem in there is the compressor is broken. The compressor. I'm like, wow, did you learn that? The internet, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about fridges,
Yeah, well, I want to say, like, we should give Dave an opportunity to, introduce himself on this show, because, when's the next time we might get so lucky as to align 3 people's schedules on a particular day?
Hi, I'm Dave.
How did you get into the, Zolkeen?
Okay, well, check it out, man. I was just flailing around after high school, which, I just kind of was flailing around, and I was chilling with my buddies, and we were flailing with Steve. I've been chilling with Steve since grade 10. We've been flailing. He was in my first band, Fugler, which stands for Fudge Smuggler. And we were just basically idiots flailing. Long story short, I came back from a trip with with my family to the trippiest place in the world, India. It's the oldest place ever. It's older than Africa, I believe. Almost 5,000 years old, I think. And anyway,
That's crazy.
yeah, that's
Like,
fucking old, dude.
Is that like 5,000 like Jesus years or just like normal Pope years?
Just the world is only 6,000 years old, so.
And is that according to like
The Bible?
God? Or?
The only book that matters is the Bible. Anyway, God. Yeah, God. Let's call it God. Yeah. Anyway.
It's the only book that sold more copies than Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. And Lord of the Rings is epic. It's epic.
It's
They made a fucking movie about it. I don't know if you've seen it. So anyway.
Daver.
Yeah, anyway, I'm off topic here. So I get back from India, and my buddy Steve, he's chilling with this dude, this really tall dude, with like a vest on and a backwards ball cap. And they're in like my house and stuff in the studio. And I'm like, who's this guy? And like he looks down at me because I'm like 4 feet high and he's like 8 feet tall. And he's like, who's this fucking guy? And then we, we're like, who are these guys? You know, like, oh, and then this other guy, James, that he knew, and that I met briefly before. And then all of a sudden, we're hanging out. You know, this guy, we're hanging out.
Huge guy, and then one guy who's just like overly jacked.
Yeah, this one like kind of like almost like a gorilla guy, but not quite. And one like really tall dude, like whoa. And like, oh, who are these guys? All of a sudden, but then we're chilling. Eating cold Pizza Hut, as Paul recalls. And he started telling me about this thing he discovered about a year ago, the tzikin calendar, you know? And we started talking about that shit.
We actually had an episode on 8 Eagle, and that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But 9 Eagle, for some reason, we're revisiting Eagle, but on the next step up. And on this day, I can say, yes, I love everything. Divine Eagle.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Take me under your wing.
I want to say big ups to the number 9, to the tone of 9, patience. You know, that one.
Yeah.
That one, I've known a few of those guys. You know, our bro Bryn, he's 9, dog. You know, my boy Lee is 9. You know, 9 is fucking Stu.
What kind of effect did following the tzikin have on you when you first really started to notice patterns in it? You know,
just felt like it really helped me to, if you could understand a person's sign and tone, you could understand what they were thinking and why they were thinking that and doing that. You can kind of understand a person for who they are as opposed to trying to force a person to be how you need them to be in order to understand them.
So kind of like a Pokédex.
Like a Pokédex, exactly. That was actually your analogy of this thing was Pokemon.
And I'll take credit for it.
You should take credit. Yo, credit where credit is due. Credit is deserved where it is due, man. Like, if I was thinking about saying that, but you said that. I don't want to take your credit, dog.
It's all good because it needs to get spread.
The thing about the Pokédex thing that I really think is just like cosmic is that, when we finally went to go and try to learn like a little bit about this thing, we ended up following this thing called the Pokémon.
Path.
You know, that was like I just could not get over the irony of what Steve Shore had like originally said was like it's like a Pokédex, and here I am literally learning this thing called the Pokémon path.
And what is that path though?
Well, Mom is a language. Mom is like a language. It's a Maya language from Guatemala, and it's one. I think there's like 30-something languages.
Yep.
Mom is one of them, and Poke is means water.
Yep.
And so it's literally like a water Pokemon. Like the irony is so deep that I just had to mention it because I thought it was like ridiculous, but
that
also
is amazing.
Like totally. Yeah, I thought it was amazing.
So they thought that both of you guys were like water animals?
No. The whole path, like this whole method of trying to learn the days is the water path. There's also a fire path, and an earth path, and a wind path.
Oh, that is very much like Pokemon.
Yeah, so and it's always the fire path. Most all the key chase stuff is fire.
Right.
From what I know, and so the whole training is all about making fires, whereas our whole training was all about like drinking tea. You had to drink tea. It's interesting that it's this original indigenous traditional ancient culture, but at the same time the way that we're coming at it is technological. We have a Pokédex, and we got all these apps.
Well, that's the thing is if you have an iPad or an iPhone or any kind of tablet thing, you can download these apps that will let you access the calendar anywhere you go, anyone you meet. If you find out a birthday, which has always been my biggest obstacle, is how do you find out somebody's birthday?
Just ask them. Don't explain why unless they want to know.
But they always want to know.
No. I put out small little feelers and I kind of quietly collect their birthday data. I do it all the time. And I gotta say, let's talk about this. How often do you meet somebody and then you find out, you punch what's their Noel? How often do you guys do that? Because I do it all the time. How about you guys?
If I find somebody's birthday out, then, I will definitely look them up. That's for sure. And I find it helps a lot. I honestly think of it as a Pokédex myself, and so many of the signs and number combinations are, reminiscent of how you would customize a Pokemon or something.
Check it out, man. This is a thing where if I can find out their birthday without having to say anything to them, I will.
Yeah.
And then...
yeah, me too, because I don't want to seem great.
I don't actually really... I mean, I love getting into this with people, but only if they're willing to. I'm very conscious of the fact that people may sort of be interested, but then you start talking about it, and it's they could be all I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
A lot of people could not care less.
Exactly.
And you just got to move on quick. Don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, well, I don't want to waste theirs or mine or anybody's time.
Yeah.
So check it out. If I can find out their sign without having to tell them anything, I will. If I can tell them a bit and they're happy with that, that's great. If they're really interested for real, then I'll talk about it more and more. And I'll even give them, a site to go to or whatever. I'll show them the app.
Do you use that Zolkian Explorer app too?
I use it all the time. I used it today. To see what day it was.
And you can have that on an iPhone and iPad. I don't know if you can have it. I think you can do it on Android too.
Probably you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. So you can check out Zolkian Explorer. Just type that into Google. That's an amazing app. I use that one all the time. It's the only one I use. I paid money for one once, and I gotta say, this Zolkian Explorer app is by far the best.
Yeah, hands down.
And it was free, and he updated it.
It's cool.
But it's still free, and all the old information's still there. It's just it's got the burner days overlaid on it now, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone download your free Tolkien app, Tolkien Explorer, right now. It's free. Why wouldn't you do it if it's free? Well, I wanted to throw it out there also, an interesting thing is that Jose was saying that the Pisham cacao is represented by the reed, right?
It is, yeah. So it's the number 3.
Yeah, and that to me that makes a lot of sense because he said at the very beginning, this thing is not to be taken lightly, right? You know what I mean? And so to me that represents the reed path. It's this path is not made to be taken lightly, kind of a thing. You need to be serious on this path or it's not going to work out for you that well, kind of thing. To me.
Yeah.
And even remember when we were counting our magic beans, dude? When we were talking to the magic beans. My magic beans told me, yeah, you can go ahead and do this if you want, if you really want, but it's gonna be a tough path, so you better take it slow. That's what Jose was saying, kind of thing.
Magic beans.
The magic beans is this Pisham cacao is this magical bag, and it's filled with these beans. I'm not sure what exactly kind of beans they are called, but they're what are they called?
Pito seeds. They're from the sacred from the sacred tree.
Yeah.
So the tree is a connection between the earth and the sky. And the tree is the reed, right? The tree is the tree trunk is the bridge between the earth and the sky. It's the bridge.
Yeah.
And these seeds are supposed to be directly connected to the stars. And so they collect these seeds and they divine them and they use them to basically do divination. You know, they're at least the modern Maya are really into divining. Like divination is like a huge, like probably 30% of everything they do is, at least from what I can tell, is divination. So
That's
they use that.
interesting.
They use the seeds and they count them almost like tarot cards or the I Ching or any other divination thing. You know, like they use it and try to ask it questions. It's like a fortune telling.
Yeah, so Jose, our teacher, he told us that the reed is the representation of this sacred item, you know, this technology, as he called it, that you used to call home, you know. And that's why the reed is the home, right?
I see.
But, so it's an interesting sign for sure.
And like, where did you learn that?
From Jose.
Who's that?
Okay, Jose was our teacher. He's from Guatemala. He's a Pokemon water priest.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy who came up. Okay, so we went down to North Carolina, to Jacksonville. We met the Johnsons. They had us in their home for a month. Me, Paul, and Kurt, and Jose. It was amazing. It was like the best time ever.
Well, just the fact that they would just like open their doors to these strangers and just like, yeah, you can stay with our kids. We'll move our kids like bed to the side, and like you can take Makaya's bed and shit. You know.
Yeah.
Makaya has just been asleep in like the shoebox on the floor, and you can take his bed.
Yeah.
And they just were so like welcoming to us, and they didn't even know us. Like it was just really cool. And then of course we got to experience the South like for real.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Yeah, dude.
South.
We got, Josh's mom made us a real, like, Southern feast. It was epic. And to me, Paul, man, this is where I kind of think that we sort of entered a little bit more into first grade from kindergarten or whatever.
It can't be really underestimated how important that is. Like, learning the proper names of the days is like you're speaking the same words that the people, the original people that are, have this knowledge from forever ago from their family. Like that's
what
the
are
same
the correct
word. So,
names of the days?
well, I don't want to say correct because there's a whole bunch of different languages that follow the Zolkin. So Quiche is just one of them. But the thing about Quiche that's special is that it's alive and well. It's a very healthy population. So there's a lot of people that speak Quiche to this day. And so when you talk about the Zolkin in Guatemala, the Quiche language is likely to come up. So this is the real way. Whereas, for example, if you look on the internet, you're going to find Yucatec names for things. Well, the problem is that people don't speak Yucatec anymore. Therefore, archaeologists from places like Spain or Texas or any basically white archaeologists become the authority of the Mayan language of Yucatec because nobody speaks it and they have a bigger library than you. So that makes their words like better.
Right.
And so it's a dead language, and it's just academics like it because they're the authority of it. But Quiche, on the other hand, is a living language, and it makes the indigenous, families the authority of it.
Like where
Let's
does
talk about
that?
Nine Eagle. Let's get into Nine Eagle real quick because this is the theme of this whole thing is Nine Eagle. So let's get into that. Because we had one a little while ago for 8 Eagle, right?
Right.
And, I said this at the very beginning, which was, I've always found 9 Eagle to be a really awesome day, unusually good, again and again, on schedule. 9 Eagle shows up, and you can literally look at your schedule the 9 Eagle train is on platform 6. If you hop on that shit, you're going somewhere great, because that train always goes somewhere great, and, I've just noticed, this is one of those days, it's just, you can count on it, you can rely on it to be awesome, and, usually I've found, on my 9 Eagle days, this didn't happen yesterday, really, but what has typically happened for me is, I will spend the day in the company of women, and, it will be a really, awesome day hanging out with women in some capacity on 9 Eagle, so I'll get to see, a really sexy, fun, cool,
side of like women, like just like how you said on the Jaguar days, it's like all of a sudden all the chicks come out prowling, like somebody put some milk out for the cats and they're all out. Like Nine Eagle, I find is kind of like that too. Like women are like they're doing great on that day, something like that. And like I just always have a really great time with women on Nine Eagle Day, whether it's like a good date or like a good conversation or something like something happens at work or something awesome involving women.
I think the Jaguar Tracina is like just a whole bunch of trickery and like, La La Land stuff. And you gotta kind of navigate it, carefully. But, Deer Tracina comes around after that. Seems to be more of like a getting down to earth, maybe, healing yourself. Taking more time to maybe look at things differently.
That sounds pretty accurate. How about you, Dave? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that seems that seems about right. I always kind of associated the deer with the forest. The deer people with the forest spirit, and so to me, the Deer Tracina sort of feels like a rainforest, man. It feels like not a cold rainforest, but just like it's raining in the forest, but I don't care because I'm a deer just running through the woods and shit,
I knew that the Deer Tracina was coming off, and I've been living in this urban environment in Kobe and Tokai, and it's like I live in this city, dude. Like Spider-Man would just have a heyday here.
Yeah.
It's just like high rises, just apartments. It's like a really dense urban place, and like I've only been here for a couple weeks, like about 3 weeks now. And last weekend I had 3 days. I had three-day weekend, and I just knew the Deer Tracina was coming up, and so I thought like I need to get the fuck out of this. Like I gotta go to the forest. I gotta go to the mountains or the beach. I need to go connect with nature because it's the Deer Tracina, and that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I had the chance, and so I took a 9-hour bus up to Nagano.
Wow.
So I stayed. That's where my girlfriend lives. She lives in Nagano. So I went up there and I spent the weekend with her and went skiing and fishing and hung out at the river, went swimming. And all of a sudden, like, it's crazy. The first day I got there, it was really cold, and they had, like, a whole bunch of fresh snow. And then the next 2 days I was there, it was just 18 degrees out, and it was just warm, and it felt like summer.
Wow.
And I just thought, like, I spent all my days, like, either in the mountains at the ski hill or just at the river, just looking at the forest and the mountains, and just, like, basically got to hang out in nature because, like, I thought the Deer Tracina is coming up. I better make it a priority to carve out a little bit of time, just R&R, just away from the city, away from the society, just go get some quiet time down by the river and, watch the trout jump. And it was cool, man. We saw some, like, eagles fighting, and there was these eagles, they were fishing, and, like, these crows were trying to jack them. Like, it was just like, I felt like I was interacting with the animals, and it was everything that I would hope, like, a Deer Tracina would have some sort of a nature theme.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally, dude.
I mean, you guys are lucky because where you live, all that stuff is like right available. Like if you want to go out to Mount Doug is like right in the backyard, and it's a sick access to like a forest, which is just like a few steps away. I was just gonna say when I went back, one of my priorities was to go camping a whole bunch of times. So I probably went camping on the Cowichan River with my dad like maybe 4 times when I was there.
Nice.
And actually, the time when I remember that most is when I came back from Australia. Like, I don't know if you guys have the same. Man, Australia sucks.
Yeah, dude. Adelaide. Or Adelaide. Well, Adelaide sucks ass for most of the year, but then there's these fucking festivals come in here, and then it's all crazy here, but then it sucks more, and then they all go away, and it fucking sucks again.
It fucking sucks shit. It sucks. And so, like, I really had that feeling, like, oh my god, this place sucks.
Yeah.
So when I came back to Victoria after that, I was like, thank God, oh my god, I never really realized how nice Victoria is. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And ever since then, every time I come back, I'm like, I feel like I just came back to Avalon or heaven or something. I'm like, wow, I'm back here. This is amazing. Like, I could go for a bike ride and just smell the breeze and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that.
What do you guys think about, like, the progression of each day, like one day ending at kind of dusk and the next day beginning at that point?
The Queen of England said that the next day starts at 12 a.m. midnight. In the middle of the night, the next day starts for some reason because God saved the Queen.
Right.
But the Mayans say that when the sun comes up after sleeping, it's the next day. That's how the days work. That's how that's how it works. When the animals see the sun come up, like, oh, it's the next day now. They don't go like midnight, 12 a.m. They go, oh fuck, it's the next day. They fucking wait until the sun comes up. So I figure that makes a lot of sense. If the sun was down, that's the energy is still it's still sort of in its last legs of its day, and that so let's say maybe when somebody's born right when the sun comes up, maybe they have some qualities about them that sort of resemble the previous day because there's just sort of drifting into the next one.
Right.
So you can sort of see qualities about people, like, maybe out of the both, because
it's kind of an important question because, when you're trying to figure somebody's sign out for the first time and you might not know them that well, a pretty important qualifier is whether they're born at night or in the morning, and then which of the, two options does it become at that point?
Whenever that question comes up, I'm already trying on different hats. Whenever I find out somebody's day, I pull up 3 hats and I put them all on and I kind of look at the person which hat fits you.
You pull out the template for dog versus the template for offering or something.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about my own sign, I'll pull out the Akbal hat, I'll pull out the seed hat, and I'll pull out the snake hat.
Two very different people. Yeah.
They're all so different that it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's only a couple that I can't tell. I find that Imosh is really hard to do that with because Imosh is kind of tough to read.
Mm-hmm.
But that might be a telltale. I'm not sure what you are. You must be Imosh because Imosh is like a poker face. They don't want to. They don't want to be given a hat that has a giant here I am on it.
Yeah.
But that's a really important question that you're up to, because how do you tell what somebody's Noel is? How do you know? Is it the day before? Is it the day of? Is it the day after?
Because you might not always be able to get to know them better. It might be something that you get, over the internet or some third-party detail, right?
I see, yeah. Well, I have to ask some questions because, it's not a cut and dry thing. And this is actually one thing I compare it to because, I'm not sure about the dawn thing. I'm not sure about the midnight thing. I'm not sure about the dusk, how I am kind of seeing it. How in some years spring starts earlier than in other years, all of a sudden you got a really late spring.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have an Indian summer. Sometimes you got a short summer. Sometimes you got all of a sudden winter is just on November 1st, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some years the 4 seasons change kind of differently. Well, I find that Norwells are like that too. It might not necessarily be at 6 a.m. It might be at fucking 9 a.m. or it might be at 2 a.m. or it might not be at 12 midnight. It might be at 10 or I think it changes just like the weather or the seasons depending on the day. Because that's been my experience with people. Is how many people have I met where their Noel is not the day that they're born? A lot. I met a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I met and in Asia, I meet a lot more people whose Noel is the day after the day they were born. So I've kind of broken it down percentage-wise, probably 30% of the people that you meet, their Noel is the day before they were born. Probably about 30% or 20, 25%, 25, anywhere between 20 and 30%, their Noel is the day before. And I would say about 10%, 1 in 10 people is going to be the day after. But in Asia, I think that's gone up. It might be 1 in 5 people you're going to meet in Asia. Their Noel is the day after they were born. And I think that just has to do with Greenwich Mean Time,
Yeah.
Our relationship to Greenwich Mean Time and how, we're always a day ahead, but we might not be a Noel ahead necessarily,
Yeah, maybe.
It's a very, interesting question. Well, what's the next Tracina coming up?
It'll be the sun, I believe. I'll say one quick thing about the sun, and then I'll go. Every sun person I meet, it seems like they have clouds in front of them, and they have to figure out a way to get those clouds away from them, and then that way they can shine on the world. You know? That's how I see the sun people, you know? They often have these clouds that are blocking their light, and they have to move those clouds, and then they are the sun, you know?
I was just gonna say that about, like, we were talking about Reed earlier. In a way, it's the same thing. Like, they have this like kind of destiny, which is to be, the Dave Grohl, the authority, the cultural, humble kind of leader, But they don't just automatically get there. They have to like suffer a lot and work really hard, and then they get there. Well, the sun is the same. Like, they're not just gonna automatically be this like glorious thing. Like, they gotta do a lot of shit that sucks for a long time, and then eventually they emerge as that, almost like a coal was turned into a diamond.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
But every sign has that, man. Seed's got that too. Like, if you don't get out and like, do your work, like your glory is not gonna come to you. Like, you gotta put your time in.
Yeah, man, that's true.
So last year I was working in the ski hill, right, in Hakuba, in the mountains in Japan, right? Last year I was working there, and I went to Korea afterwards because my visa, I can only stay in Japan for a short time, and then I had to leave. And so the easiest country to go to from Japan is Korea. You can get a flight for like $40. $40 flight from Osaka to Korea. So I just bought that ticket, and I flew to Korea. And then I didn't know what to do. I was actually going to stay in Korea and get a job there. And then I saw that Don Alejandro, Tata Alejandro, the guy, Wandering Wolf, he was giving a presentation in Osaka, Japan.
Oh yeah, I remember you said that.
Dude, he was coming, and so I took it as a sign, I have to go back to Japan, and so I did. So I bought my ticket, and I came back to Japan, and I didn't really have a plan after that. I was maybe gonna just come back to Japan for a week, and then go back to Korea and start working. But I just knew, I just took that as a sign, I should go to Japan because I need to meet this Tata guy. I think it's a good, that's a good sort of symbol. All of a sudden, just where should I go next? All of a sudden, I was just yo, man, I should follow this thing and go talk to this Zolki guy and show him my, Mayan clock, which would have been my goal. But actually, I never ended up meeting him. But he brought me back to Japan, and I went there. When I went there, it was kind of like a Maya, and so the Kiche people were interacting with the Shinto kind of group, and they were I guess studying each other and sharing each other's culture, and he came there and gave a presentation. And so when I went there, I actually bought a little paper Zolkine thing for $10 or something, and it's at my dad's house, and it's like a little Mayan calendar, but it's made out of paper, and you can just turn the gears, and it shows you the different pictures. It's really cool, actually. So I got it in Japan, and also my friend Jose, he has students from all over the world that come and stay with him, and he said he had a Japanese girl stay with him, and she wrote out every single thing that she learned every single day. She wrote basically a textbook on the Zolki in Japanese. And there was also a German lady that did it as well, and Jose had these things on his computer. And to me, the Zolki is a science, and that information is basically a type of psychology. It's like a psychology, but it's more accurate and real. It's
well,
more
we should
scientific.
get that Jose guy to come on the show. Sounds like he would have a lot of insightful things to say.
Yeah, he does. He's a really cool guy. He's kind of crazy too. He basically, for example, he'll talk about reptilians and shit like that, And he's a kind of a conspiracy, weird kind of dude.
Dude,
so,
that's chill. That's I'll talk to somebody about anything, man. As long as I feel there's the right energy behind it, the right intention,
There is 100%, and his spin of everything is always positive. He'll take like his like approach is like he's willing to tackle anything, and then and to make it like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, the lizard people turn into the rainbow lizard people, and they have a positive spin on them or something like that. And so like I think what I was kind of trying to think about it is like he deals with a lot of crazy people, and so like he has to be well versed in everything, you know. But like, yeah, like sometimes he'll go off about stuff that is just like, it's silly. He just goes off about some silly stuff, you know. But and you just gotta kind of take it. It's like, yeah, well, you know, that's what you're into, you know, whatever. But if you really get into like his intimate knowledge of the Nawels is really cool. It's super cool. Like he taught us how to drop these horoscopes, these 9-sign charts. You know, you would draw them up just like you ordered one. Like I could just sit down with somebody and I could draw them up. And what you do really is like, this is my interpretation of it, is like you take these pictures, these all pictures of your like whole cross, you know, and then you look at them and they kind of, in a way, like how they would explain it is they talk to you, and then you wrote it, where you write out a poem based on like the inspiration that you receive, and that poem is kind of like a positive message for the person, for their reading, right? And when he draws out your horoscope, like your cross, you know, he draws out all the different, like the 9 Nawals, and he looks at them and like he talks about how they all interact with you. Like his insight is unique, and like don't have that much experience, so he has a lot of really cool insights about that. He'll be able to tell you like a lot of really cool things about the Nawals that you just had no idea about them. So it's really cool. It's got a lot of wisdom, you know. And the thing that I also noticed is like, for example, let's say he drew up the 9-sign chart. You know, he's got the 3 for the present, the 3 for the past, and the 3 for the future, and like he's you know, drawing that up each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like every day, he's gonna get a new insight, a new inspiration from looking at these pictures. Like a new thing will come, and so you'll always have a new angle. And like that's why I thought this Tolkien would make a good podcast, is because like it's forever new. Like it'll never get old because it's always changing and modifying, and you know, like it's always different. It's like weather patterns or something like that. Like it is the same. There's always spring, fall, summer, winter, but like the variations of those 4 things are always infinitely relevant and changing, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought like literally you could just talk about this thing forever, every single day. It'll never get old because, you know, you're just talking about people, and people are always changing and interesting in each other, and you know, that's what makes the thing so awesome. That's why I'm stoked about it. I really like this idea of like pulling it into like a hip hop thing, where like we can literally get every single language, every single culture, every single like community.
Well, that's because it's worldwide now, you know?
All putting in, and that way it's like a global thing.
Like, we literally got people worldwide. Like, I'm repping West Coast of North America. You're in Japan. And we got someone in Israel.
We do got someone in Israel. And the guy in Israel is, like, down by law. Like, I mean, he's a Zolki nut. And he knows, actually, his insight about it is really great. He has some really cool ways of thinking about it that are different, and you know, I don't fully understand them, so there's a lot to learn, and hopefully, like, if we have him on as a guest, we can really start to get some really cool insights, you know, from him. Because like, for example, one thing that he has introduced this concept to me is, okay, so you know that the Jaguar Tracina is the inverse of the C Tracian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what he's saying is like, if you plant a seed during the Jaguar Tracina, it's going to sprout in the C Tracina. So the idea of like how everything affects everything else, you know. So for example, if we make a plan today, we write out, you know, our plan to make something, you know, 90 days later, that plan is going to fade, you know, there'll be a different phase will be activated, and then next thing you know, like 180 days later, all of a sudden now you have like a, you know, it's half manifested, and then like, you know, another 90 days after that, it's almost become fully manifested. You know what I mean? Like basically, you could use the different days as a creative force. And so, like, if I have a project and I started on this day, you can look at the other Nawels that are like associated with it, and you can predict that like different phases are gonna activate different like parts of the creative process. Or I don't know if I'm explaining this very clearly, but basically, you can use it to leverage creative pursuits. You know.
Yeah.
Like if we make a plan to do a comedy sketch or a cartoon, because we make cartoons, let's use a cartoon as an example. So we make a plan during the Jaguar Tracina to make this cartoon, you know, and then during the Storm Tracina we polish it all off and get it all finished, and then during the Sea Tracina is when it gets released, you know, and so like it shows like how everything is all actually, you know, different sides of the same coin, and like it's all actually working together to create stuff. And like, so he has this really interesting idea, like what was once an idea on one sun, by the time it reaches 8th sun, is fully manifested. So he had an idea on one sun, and then on 8th sun, actually that idea came true, something like that. And so like he's talking about how everything is all woven together in this tapestry, and like he has some really unique ideas and thoughts about that are very interesting. So I really like talking to him, and I haven't talked to him enough, actually. It's been a long time. I pass him a Facebook message from, you know, here and there, every couple times a year, really. But I haven't actually sat down and like Skyped him for probably.
Well, he's got a blog, right?
A year or two. Yeah, I read his blog. I made it. I'm on his blog.
What's the blog called?
Eagle Explains.
Yeah.
Eagle Explains at WordPress, I think. He's really cool. The blog, I mean, he's a nerd. Like, we all are nerds. But he's a nerd for music and bands. A lot like you. Actually, he reminds me of you a lot. He's Lamat. He's Lamat. 8 Lamat is his sign.
That's funny.
It is funny because he's one of the coolest Lamats you're going to find. You know, he's a chill dude. And, yeah, I was always wondering, like, wow, why did you call yourself Eagle if you're Lamat? You know, why'd you call yourself Rabbit?
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, his whole thing is he likes to find out all the different rock stars, like, Nawels, and then he puts them into his blog, and he talks about how, like, you know, their song lyrics are expressing their, you know, their Nawel and all this, and he kind of gets into that. It just nerds out. He's just like a music lover, you know, and he just loves all these different bands, and, you know, he shows different clips of songs on his blog and how they're relevant.
I can tell from, like, his blog entries. His blog is called Another Time, actually.
Oh, Another Time. Sure. Yeah. That's right.
And, I've read quite a few of his interpretations on the different Tricenas, and occasionally he'll just dip into this, like, really fine detail about a particular aspect of that day sign, and yeah, he's got a particular style.
Well, I liked it, and I thought it reminded me of you, because like he's such a music fan, you know, and so are you.
Yeah.
So like you guys can really nerd out, I think, or geek out on like different bands and musics and singers, and how the Nawels are like part of the creative process.
It's definitely a good idea.
Well, I mean, for me, yeah, in some regards, I guess so. I mean, I'm just not that much of a music geek. Like, I like playing music, but I just don't know that much about bands. I guess I'm a bit of a hip-hop geek.
I think anybody would be able to relate to, you know, something more along the lines of learning what the tzikin means by learning, you know, various celebrities or public figures' signs, and, you know, that being able to coincide with the personality that comes through through the media or whatever their art form is. I'm gonna have to say that was an interesting episode, and it was nice that Dave dropped by.
Yeah.
Dave is a wild character, and we don't get And that's the way it goes with, I think, anyone, you know. I mean, obviously, a lot of, you know, you're in a completely different time zone. A lot of the people we're going to be talking to are in different time zones. Like, just because I'm in the same time zone as Dave doesn't mean that, like, it works. Because, say we want you to be in on it, then we got to factor your time zone in. But
Well,
also,
Dave is
you know,
Dave. I mean, the idea, too, of this podcast, I think, is, like, just keeping it random. Like, if it's just, like, our, like, weekly phone call, like, we just call each other up and we're just, like, you know, all right, what day is it, what Tracina is, let's talk about it, and hopefully we can, you know, I'll say this again and again and again, also just kind of humble myself, as well as, like, make sure everybody's, like, clear on, like, where we stand. It's like, I don't want to be the host. Like, I want more qualified people to just show up and start spitting it, you know, and just, like, we're creating this platform, hopefully, where that can happen, so we can get some masters in and really.
On that note, we should give a shout out to Zolkeen Explorer, dope app. You can have it on your device, whatever you use. It's free. And I would like to shout out to MayanMagics.com. It's Mayan and then MAJIX.com. That is the first website that I started learning about the Zolkeen through, and it's still a place that I refer back to occasionally. So I would recommend checking it out if you are a Zolkeen fan. This was One Dog Steve and 3 Seed Mitch. Until next Tracina, which will be the Sun Tracina.